and that takes it basically over toward the Liberty area around 8:17, Hanover around 8:21. It'll continue to head over toward Branchville, over toward the Elevation area, not too far away from Caldwell. Watching the Brazos Valley. College Station, you're still a little ways away right now, but this would be a good time to make sure you've got everything kind of tied down, pull everything inside the house there or the apartment, because these are moving in your direction. They are producing some very windy conditions. You will see probably some kind of a warning come out here in the next half hour, if not sooner, for Brazos County because of the showers and storms that are moving in your direction. We've been having a history of not only wind between 70 and 75 miles per hour, but we're also having a history of these spin-ups here with some rotation being picked up by Doppler radar. So we might see that as well. Up and down I-45 already, the north of I-45, they're seeing some very heavy rain. And again, some leftover rain showers behind it as that storm system begins to lift out of our area. But this is a cold front that's moving through the area, and that rainfall has really started to pick up. We could maybe take a trek maybe over toward Mexia with our Sky Tracker, Haley, or you could grab one over down toward the Temple area. It's going to be east of Temple, but what we are seeing right now is most of the activity is beginning to push away. Mexia, you need to be on the lookout. That is marching in your direction. Once again, pretty quiet conditions right now up in Mexia. Our Live Centex Seamless Gutter Sky Tracker. It's on top of the Civic Center in downtown Mexia. We're taking a look. You can see the clouds, the lightning out in the distance, and that will be marching in your direction. So if you're in Mexia right now, you may want to just start thinking about, okay, I need to stay away from windows in the next half hour or so. We are looking at some very heavy rainfall, and it may be raining in your neighborhood up there in Mexia right now, because here it is. It's kind of breaking up a little bit, a lot of lightning out there, but that's good news that it's starting to break up. There's the gust front right there, or that shelf cloud that's moving through, producing some cooler wind across your area, down toward the Groesbeck area, not far away from Teague. That is some heavier rainfall, and again, that's all moving off to the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour, but you can see where that line extends now just east of I-35, east of the Hewitt area, just east of Woodway, as well as Temple, and then heading down toward Cameron. If you live in Cameron right now, you need to be on the lookout here for some very, very strong winds. Stay away from windows. You get in the center part of your home right now. This could be a situation where there could be another spin up with a tornado. We do have that tornado warning in effect now for the Milam County area, as you can see right there. That goes until 8:30. You're looking at our storm relative velocity. We're looking at the wind inside the thunderstorms, and the Haley is circling the area of concern right now. It's not far away from the Rockdale area. This is the area right here that we may have a tornado, or at least Doppler radar indicated tornado. It's wrapped in rain, so that means we can't see it anyhow. It's dark outside. It just is raining very, very hard here in the Buckholz area, as well as North Elm, Rogers, down toward San Gabriel. It's moving off to the east, as you can see right there, heading toward Hoyt, Liberty, Hanover very, very soon. So if you are in those communities, you need to be thinking about your safe spot right now. Get in the center part of your home. Stay away from those windows for the most part. If you have a place that you go like a shelter, that's where you would want to go right now. Wait it out for a half hour or so as it moves here across your area. But that rainfall has been very, very heavy across the area, and that has also been associated with that front that's been tracking through the area as well. You can see here our storm relative velocity, checking out those winds, show not only some windy conditions out there, Haley, but we're also getting quite a bit in the way of some lightning, and you're trying to get that info notch. It's hard to see, though.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a better scan on radar than the ones that were up in McLennan County and Bell County, those kind of embedded little areas of circulation. This one's definitely a lot easier to see, and they are talking about the circulation again moving off to the east at about 45 miles per hour. So yeah, you can kind of see this little notch in this thunderstorm. That's where you're going to get kind of like the thunderstorm basically sucking in a wind of anywhere between maybe 60, 70 mile per hour winds. And that's also where you could potentially be seeing and kind of eyeing that area of rotation. So again, not the greatest thing to see, but it's there. You can kind of see, if we put a storm tracker on it, just exactly where it's going to be going. So let me go ahead.
It's hard to tell.
Yep, very
It's
hard to
very
tell.
hard to tell.
But easier than the last, couple ones that we've seen, which is,
Right.
Good for us to kind of get people sheltering in place, kind of get into your safe place. So
Yeah, you shouldn't act any different from a tornado warning and a severe thunderstorm warning because, as you know, with a severe thunderstorm warning, you can have that tornado.
exactly, yeah, it can drop a tornado at any moment. And these thunderstorms have definitely been capable and they've been favorable for these little spin-ups. But this is going to move into Milano at about 8:12, Liberty, the community of Liberty at 8:13. These are all in Milam County, okay? The ones in McLennan, Bell, Coryell, even Lampasas a while back, those have been let to expire. Most of the shower and thunderstorm activity is now off to the east, mainly east of I-35. But this is moving kind of at a fast pace off to the east. This little area of rotation, this kind of notch that we're looking at, could be moving into Valley Junction at 8:28. The Rita community at about 8:29. If this holds up, this tornado warning will definitely need to be extended into parts of the Brazos
Brazos Valley.
County.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. College Station, don't let your guard down. That is for sure. We do have an update now on the power outages. Let me get out of the way here to show you right now. We are looking at still 547 customers affected. Is that right? In the Woodway area right now, 547, they lost power, so that can be definitely associated with those strong winds that moved across our area. Now we have 620 in Harker Heights there, so we have quite a few in the Harker Heights area. That would be the big concern right now. We've got not only the windy conditions coming through here, but any power poles or any branches that snap would fall on those power lines, knock out the electricity, and that's what we're seeing here across parts of our area. Here's the big picture. Once again, out ahead of the line of severe thunderstorms, we've got warnings up and down, basically. I-45 College Station, you are now under a severe thunderstorm warning at this time here. That's because of these strong winds that are going to be moving in your direction. You could see winds 65 to 75 miles per hour. That's heading right through the Cameron area, Rockdale, down toward the Taylor area. This is all associated with that cold front that's moving through, and now we are really starting to see it pick up speed a little bit here and also drop not only some isolated tornadoes, but pick up those winds, I think, as well. We're looking at wind in the Marlin area over toward Groesbeck. Most of it now is on the east side of McLennan County. At least it's pushing through eastern McLennan County, tracking back off to the east, but that goes down toward Taylor, Rockdale, Cameron. If you are in not only College Station, but Caldwell area, Cameron, you need to be seeking shelter, especially if you're in the Cameron area right now. We've got winds that could be as strong as 75 miles per hour in your neighborhood. Stay away from windows. Stay in the middle part of your home if you can be there. Obviously, a bathroom or a closet or someplace you're away from the glass, because glass will just break if something's picked up and thrown at it. But there it is, knocking on the door. So I can't stress that enough. If you're in Cameron and Rockdale, you need to take cover right now. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning and a tornado warning for your county that goes until 8:30 this afternoon, or this evening, I should say. There it is. That continues to track off to the east. We're going to look at that info notch a little bit right there. You can see, Haley, it's almost knocking right on the door, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Of that area.
yeah, exactly. If there's any
You can see
sort
it
of
right there.
rotation, which there is, because this tornado warning in Milam is still active, it's going to be just in between Cameron and Rockdale. And we've been pretty lucky. We've had several warnings in place for tornadoes, but we haven't actually had a tornado as of right now touch down. But when you do have those wind speeds in that thunderstorm that produce 65, 75 mile per hour wind speeds, it almost acts like a very low end tornado. So it can do some damage. But here's what I'm looking at for all those people at home that are kind of confused as to maybe where I'm at. This area of rotation, it's very broad. It's kind of broadened out. If I even go back in some of these radar scans, you can kind of see it a little bit better. And then as you continue putting it into motion, it kind of falls apart. But that's why they have continued this tornado warning for Milam County. Going to go ahead and put a tracker on this and kind of get people set in their bearings to where they need to be. So zooming in in between Cameron and Rockdale for Milam County. This tornado warning goes until probably the next 20 minutes, and then it could be issued downstream into parts of the Brazos Valley if this rotation holds up. But this is moving into the Liberty community at about 8:18, so in about 8 minutes. Hanover at 8:21, Valley Junction at 8:37 if it happens to hold itself up. So yeah, there's a gust front out in front of these showers and thunderstorms just in the southern part of Milam, about to be moving into Burleson. So that's going to be some very windy conditions here.
You're absolutely right. If you want to head back up toward the Mexia area, Corsicana, just getting reports in now up around the Corsicana area of wind gust of 76 miles per hour up in Corsicana. So this is what we are looking at right here in Corsicana. As you know, there's Mexia right there. You are in line 2, seeing some very, very strong, damaging winds. Once again, stay away from windows right now. Get in the center part of your home. Can't say it enough here because we got big storms coming. What do? People run to the window. They want to see it coming. No, don't do that. We've got this strong wind here that will cause damage. We've had power outages in the metro area here in Waco over toward the Harker Heights area. We're going to see more of that as we go throughout the evening, and once this line moves through, we'll see what's going on. This is a live picture up in Mexia, or live Centex SEMA Scudder Sky Tracker. It's on top of the Civic Center, kind of looking at City Hall right there. We're looking out in the distance. Skies right now are scary for the most part because they're cloudy, and we're expecting the heavy rainfall and the wind to be moving through this area here very, very soon. Once again, up in Mexia, nothing for the most part in the downtown area, but as we put this into motion, there's Mexia right there. So it's knocking on the door. It's not far away from Mexia. Groesbeck, same thing. You've had that gust front move through the cooler air, but now the heavy rainfall, the severe wind will move through, and that goes all the way down, as you can see there, down toward the Marlin area, and eventually heading down toward Austin, looking at some very, very strong winds associated with this front as it moves across the area. Behind it, we're already clearing out for the most part. The rain has kind of let up here in parts of the Waco area, down toward Hewitt, Woodway, Temple, still seeing some very light rain over toward Killeen. The very latest, as you can pick out here, the orange indicate severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect up and down where the front is. We do have a spin up of a tornado, so we have a tornado warning right now for Milam County that goes until 8:30 this evening. Behind it, everything's starting to quiet down just a little bit, but what we are looking at here with our reflectivity, or where the showers and storms are, that line is holding together, and we knew it was going to hold together here because the atmosphere was just right. And it was prime, and what we are seeing even at this hour, some very strong winds with this as it moves across the area. Storm relative velocity, the windfall that's inside, we are taking a look at where we could possibly have a funnel cloud or a possible Doppler radar indicated tornado, Haley, for the most part here across the area. I haven't seen anything else come across, have you?
Yep, no, haven't seen anything come across as of right now. I want to go ahead and pull up the latest on our storm reports. Again, these have been substantially just very gusty winds, and even some small hail if you go back off to the west as these showers and thunderstorms started to progress into central Texas. There was some hail definitely that dropped into parts of our way western viewing area, into parts of the San Angelo viewing area. Even up to the north, they've had several tornado warnings, a lot of hail, a lot of wind damage especially, and even down to our south. So in terms of this really long line of severe weather, Central Texas kind of got lucky in terms of seeing a lot of...
Yeah, they kept, and you know what, if you remember that, where that moderate risk was in the enhanced risk, it was to our north and to our east, so you're absolutely right. But you can see right along 20 out there, as we take a look at the latest storm reports, we've got, again, some isolated tornadoes that were reported north of Highway 20. Nothing official here in our area. Obviously, it's a little early right now, but what we will watch very closely to see if anything pops up here in the Waco area, or at least surrounding communities here in central Texas. What we can show you right now, though, the Viper radar indicates some very heavy rainfall that's moving across. We've got all this orange on here. These are warnings for the most part. Do we still have that tornado warning?
Yes,
down there in Milam County. That's because of the spin up here. But once that front moves through, behind it, some spotty showers here and there. Then we start to clear it out here later on tonight and tomorrow. But that line that we're worried about right now and that we're watching is Milam County, not to mention Limestone County, kind of tailing all the way down here over toward the Taylor area. Some very, very strong thunderstorms producing some strong winds moving through the Cameron area at this time. You should be already in your safe spot. It's never too late to get there, but you need to get there. That's right, and you need to stay away from those windows. Temple, some colder rain now starting to push in behind it, and that'll continue to track off to the east and to the northeast at about 40 miles an hour. So still moving at a pretty good clip for the most part. A lot of lightning associated with that as well. And again, conditions are calming down here in Waco, but they're still kind of building back up over toward Limestone County and not too far away from the Freestone area as well. Riesel, heavy rainfall, the Marlin area down toward Lott and Rosewood, heading over toward Bremen, over toward Thornton, Groesbeck, down toward the Calvert area. Franklin, you need to be on the lookout here. This is some very strong winds, could be damaging winds here that could knock out power. So make sure you at least got your phone charged up halfway decently and make sure you're ready to roll just in case you do lose power or lose electricity here. You have something to kind of fall back on for the most part. But what we are seeing right now on our Viper radar is that tornado warning that is still in effect for Milam County. That runs until 8:30. Heavy rainfall, thunder, lightning continues, Haley, to push off to the east. And you know, it's not weakening too much.
No, not weakening too much, but they are talking about this outflow boundary, this little kind of green line right here, maybe outpacing some of that circulation. So that's a good thing for those folks in Milam and further downstream of that as well. So they may go ahead and let that tornado warning, they're just going to let it go until 8:30 for the meantime, just in case that kind of center of rotation or that center of a circulation up in the storm maybe starts to get its act together once again, but still hanging on to that. So we're going to keep an eye out for these counties downstream: Burleson, Robertson, Brazos. You may be seeing a tornado warning here within the next probably 10 to 15 minutes, maybe. If that circulation kind of got wrapped up in that outflow boundary, then a tornado warning won't be needed. But we're going to keep going with that until that expires for Milam at 8:30 tonight. So back off in Waco, Temple, Killeen, starting to see those showers and thunderstorms die down. The bulk of heavy precipitation has now moved off to the east, and we're still hanging on to those severe thunderstorm warnings, mainly in our eastern counties where these kind of orange.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You're right. That line kind of goes all the way down here. We're not going to see any weakening, at least at this moment, over toward the Marlin area and down toward Cameron and Rockdale. Still some very heavy showers and storms. Maybe, Haley, you could pop up just the rainfall, how much we've had so far here just across our area, because some of this rainfall caused some localized flooding in some of those spots. Not everybody saw it, but you know, those low-lying areas, there's some of those streets that have those big potholes and stuff just fill up with water, and it makes it a little bit harder to drive there. But this is dropping some heavier rainfall, which is good news because we need that rainfall. We're still in the drought situation here, but rainfall over the last 24 hours. Again, this is just kind of a rough estimate of what we've been looking at here. Over a tenth of an inch in Waco. Getting close to an inch, though, down toward the Killeen area as well as Georgetown. You can see almost 3/4 of an inch in Lampasas. So it kind of depends on where you are. Some healthy rainfall definitely has fallen across parts of our area. Maybe not as much over toward Brownwood, but Comanche, 1/3 of an inch. And again, about 1/3 of an inch up toward Mexia, where we're starting to see some more rainfall continue to move through that area. Right now, most of the heavier rainfall is to the east of the Waco area, east of Temple, heading over toward the Brazos Valley. We do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for College Station and Bryan, so kind of keep that in mind. That's because of the very windy conditions that'll be moving through here very, very soon. Some wind gusts could be as strong as 65 to 75 miles per hour as it moves across your area. So be on the lookout for that. We were talking about the little outflow boundaries out in front of it here, trying to cool down the atmosphere a little bit. And that's that narrow line. What happens is that heavier rainfall, those thunderstorms out there produce some tremendous amounts of rain. That rain is heavy, it's dense, and it's cold. And that pushes that air down to the ground, and it pushes it out Well, we are seeing it out and out ahead of it, and that's what we're seeing here with the outflow. But you'll notice over toward Cameron, up toward the Marlin area, Limestone County, seeing some very heavy rainfall. We were telling you again, just to be very careful. If you want to get to the center part of your home, well, we've got a tornado warning that is in effect here. Flying debris is a big problem. So anytime you have flying debris, you want to stay away from windows. You want to make sure that you go to your safe spot. I know a lot of folks here want to kind of see what's going on. Don't worry about it. We'll take some pictures. We'll send you the snapshots of those. Otherwise, stay on the lowest floor. You want to stay away from your windows. Obviously, you want to stay away from manufactured homes. And if you have a place to go, you want to go there. Mobile homes are not the best place. And, of course, cars as well. Cars can be pretty dangerous sometimes when you have winds as strong as that. Matter of fact, speaking of that, the wind, I've seen numerous tractor trailers tipped over up in the Dallas area with those strong winds moving through. And we're seeing just as strong winds here in central Texas. So once again, the wind is a huge threat, and that'll continue to be a threat through Cameron, although it's breaking up just a little bit. Heavier rainfall now up toward the Marlin area, not far away from Mexia. Mexia seeing some very heavy rainfall at this time. So that'll continue to push off to the east at about 40 to 45 over toward the Fairfield area. Palestine, you're quiet right now, but guess what? You're under a severe thunderstorm warning. And look at this. We just showed you 5 minutes ago, dry conditions up in Mexia. Not anymore. Once again, we're shooting from the top of the Civic Center there in Mexia. Rain is coming down. Thunderstorms are rolling through. Remember, we've got severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Mexia at this time. Look at the lightning. This is live lightning. A lot of it going on at this time here with the gusty winds that are moving through here. And that will be the story. Take a look at our Viper radar as it moves across the area. We are looking at not only some heavy rainfall here, but we are also seeing those strong winds. We can't keep telling you about this wind enough, because that has been the big threat. We knew it was going to be a wind machine once it moves through. And once it moves through, you are going to feel the wind later on tonight and tomorrow. It's going to be rattling the windows because we have a wind advisory in effect for our area. And you know, that takes a lot here in Texas to get a wind advisory, and we've got one of those coming your way here tonight and tomorrow morning. But there's that line of some very heavy rainfall, showers and storms down around Cameron. You know, I want to keep focusing on Cameron there because, Haley, that is just getting hammered with heavy rainfall, strong winds, and again, a possible tornado.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of lightning in there as well. So a lot of rumbles of thunder moving into Cameron, also into just north of that into Rosebud, pushing off to the east. And they're actually going to let the Milam County warning expire in about 10 minutes. It expires at 8:30, so about 8 minutes or so. As that circulation that they kind of had their eye on, of course, we've had our eye on over the last maybe 20 minutes or so. Here's where it was at about 7:54. That's why they issued that warning. And as it continues to push off to the east, it really starts to stretch out and kind of fall apart. So they're going to let that tornado warning for Milam County expire, but don't let your guard down. However, because you still have that very heavy rainfall, that severe thunderstorm still moving over the area, and it's going to move downstream into parts of the Brazos Valley, Robertson, Brazos County into Burleson. Now in Limestone County, if we push it up further to the north, Corsicana into parts of Navarro County, they've been seeing some very heavy rainfall over the last probably about 30 minutes or so. And that's continuing to push off to the east. Mexia getting kind of hammered with some rain. A lot of lightning in the forecast, like we just showed you on the Sky Tracker over there just several minutes ago. But that's some good news for the folks in Milam County as well as downstream from that. But like I said, please do not let your guard down, because these storms have a history and they have a capability of producing any sort of circulation or some sort of rotation. So if this continues to push off to the east into parts of the Brazos Valley, where this atmosphere has essentially been untouched for most of the day, and as it continues to push into here, that could ramp up some more, the potential for more circulation, more spin-ups, maybe even an environment that could potentially have the possibility of maybe touching a tornado down. So do not let your guard down, because these severe thunderstorm warnings they mean business with this line.
Absolutely. Good advice there, Haley. That is for sure. We are not only seeing some very windy conditions, but we're seeing those embedded thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. We can't see them because it's so dark outside. Can't see them because of the rain wrap, but we can see them with our Doppler radar, and that's what we're looking at right now. These are Doppler radar indicated. Doesn't mean they're going to reach the ground, but it's indicating that the wind inside a thunderstorm is going this way and that way. We've got the shear going on, inbound, outbound, gate to gate, if you will, and that's what we are seeing, and that's why they issued it. So there are no more tornado warnings in effect right now, just severe thunderstorm warnings, but you should treat it very similar, if not the same, because these winds between 65 and 75 miles per hour, those have been the big problem this evening. You get straight line winds at 75 miles per hour. Most people will think it's a tornado that moved through here. You can't tell the difference. It's very, very difficult until you see what happens afterwards. But there's the tracker right now on the line of showers and thunderstorms that are severe, heading over toward the Teague area around 8:36. Let me back up so you can see over toward Caldwell around 8:45, Giddings at 8:49. Bryan, 9:03, College Station, be on the lookout at 9:09. You could see some very strong winds moving through A&M and that region. Madisonville around 9:27, Brenham around 9:33 as well. The showers and storms have been moving off to the east at about 40 to 45 miles per hour. We've had some that have been moving a little bit faster and some areas that have been moving a little bit slower, but generally speaking, between 40 and 45 miles per hour is how fast they've been moving off to the east. Already starting to kind of clear out a little bit in western McLennan County, down toward the Temple and Colleen area. Still seeing some very, very light rain at this time. But our storm system still packing a punch as it heads over toward the Groesbeck area. There's Mexia, there's Teague. As you work your way right along I-45, that heavy rainfall will continue to track off to the east. And what we are seeing down toward the Brazos Valley, there's that little outflow boundary out ahead of it. So you might get a gush of some cool air, and then you're going to get dumped on with some very heavy rainfall down toward Brenham, College Station, Caldwell, Bryan. Guess what? You're in line of this showers and storms, this line of some very strong thunderstorms that are moving through that could produce those winds 65 to 75 miles per hour. So if you are down in the College Station area you're watching right now, you need to stay away from those windows at this time. Just be aware that this is going to be a storm system that produces heavy rainfall and some very windy conditions. So make sure you've got most of your stuff picked up in your yard or at least tied down. But once it moves through, we are watching, again, some quieter conditions begin to move in. We're going to clear it out overnight. Tomorrow looks beautiful across the area. But right now, we're seeing some very heavy rainfall. It is still holding. We'll watch the loop here over the last hour or so and put this into motion. And notice how it's not de-intensifying or not getting smaller, I should say. What we are watching, it is intensifying or at least holding its own as it moves through that area. What we are watching also is down south, the back edge of the storm system is tailing down toward the Austin area, still very active in that area as well. Folks down in Caldwell, College Station, Brenham, over toward the Huntsville area there along I-45. Guess what? It is moving in your direction. This front will be bringing some heavy rainfall, not to mention some very gusty winds. Could be some severe wind with that wind over 60 miles per hour. At least that's what we're looking at right now. You'll notice over toward basically the College Station area around 9 o'clock or so, 9:06, 9 o'clock in the Bryan area, Caldwell around 8:42 as it moves through that area. But starting to calm down maybe just a little bit. There are batches, Haley, for the most part, as you can see, that are holding together, and then some breaks and some batches. But this has not been weakening much at all.
No, not really. And also, this is pretty important too. There's a lot of people, a lot of students that go to Texas A&M, and as this line continues to push into parts of the Brazos Valley, into most of the Brazos Valley. I know a lot of times when I was in college, we had very late night study sessions or SI sessions and whatnot, maybe at the library. So if you know somebody or if you have somebody that attends Texas A&M, I definitely give them a heads up that this rain is moving in here. It's had a history of having the capability to have some spin-ups or some embedded circulations within it. So like I said this maybe about 5 minutes ago, but this atmosphere has kind of been untouched and it hasn't been worked over. So once you get this line to start kind of pushing through this area, maybe you could potentially see a spin up or two possible for parts of the Brazos Valley. So yeah, if you know anybody in that direction, just give them a heads up, let them know that they've got rain coming their way. That tornado warning in Milam County, we haven't forgot about you because it actually has been let to expire. The little colored box still hasn't gone away because it's not 8:30 yet, but we are only dealing with severe thunderstorm warnings at this moment, going from Corsicana into Limestone, into Robertson, down towards parts of the Brazos Valley at this moment.
Okay, Haley, thank you very much. We're going to recap one more time here. We've got that tornado watch still in effect until 10 o'clock this evening. The warnings now are just to the east of the Waco, Temple, and Killeen area. We've kind of gone over all that with you. Wind damage, just be on the lookout right now down toward the College Station area. We're going to have a recap on the showers and storms, the power outages, and any damage reports coming up tonight on Fox 44 News at 9 o'clock. We hope to see you then. Keep it right here, Fox 44. We warn you first.